If you're looking for sponsoring your spouse to get permanent residence in Canada and you want to do the entire application all by yourself without hiring an agent, then you stumbled upon the right video. In this video, I'm going to share my experience of how we did our application, right from finding the forms, filling up those forms, finding the supporting documents that might be required, and submitting the application. This is a two-part video series. This is part 1. Link to part 2 you can find somewhere above, or you can find it in the description box below. So let's get started. Hi and welcome to our channel. On this channel, we aim to bring out informational videos around our experience of settling down in Canada. After watching this two-part video series, you will be in a better position to understand what exactly is the spousal sponsorship process and what are the requirements that you need to fulfill to get started. Let us first understand who are the parties involved in the entire application process. There are two parties involved. One is a sponsor and one is an applicant. Let's first talk about who's a sponsor. As the name suggests, sponsor is someone who is going to sponsor the spouse. So in this case, the sponsor can be a permanent resident of Canada or can be a citizen. And an applicant is someone who is applying to get permanent residence. In this case, it's your spouse, or if applicable, it can be also your dependent children. Now, let's look at both these two parties involved, the sponsor and the applicant, and what are the eligibility criteria one needs to fulfill to become a sponsor and an applicant. What are the forms that are applicable to these both two parties? And what are the supporting documents that are required? So let's look at point 1. How you make sure that you're eligible to sponsor your spouse. In order to do that, we have to go to the website of IRCC. I have provided the link to the site in the description box below. And I will also walk you through how the navigation works. So I write CIC in my browser. The first link comes up is Immigration and Citizenship Canada. Scroll down and click on Immigrate. And in the services and information, click on Family Sponsorship. In here, you are sponsoring your spouse and if applicable dependent children. So you click on Sponsor your spouse, partner or dependent children. And this is where you will find a lot of information to get started. So let's just focus on first the eligibility of a sponsor. So in order to check your eligibility, click on Check if you're eligible. The criteria for becoming a sponsor are very straightforward. You need to be at least 18 years of age, you need to be either a permanent resident of Canada or a citizen, and you need to provide information that you're not on social assistance and you can provide for your basic needs for the spouse. If you are living in Quebec, there would be some additional criteria which are very well elaborated on this page. So now let's look at the eligibility criteria an applicant should fulfill. For that, you can click on who you can sponsor. What are the criteria if you are a spouse or if you have a common law partner or if you are in a conjugal relationship? All the criteria for someone who you can sponsor is explained in this page. Having looked at the eligibility criteria, now let's go through the forms that are required by both sponsor and the applicant. For that, on the same page, if you click on how to apply, you will be directed to this page, and here you need to click on application package. Now before we dig further what exactly is the application package, let us elaborate on this one. An application package in nutshell is an entire set of application that you're going to send to IRCC once you have completed all the forms, all the supporting documents and all the proofs that are requested by IRCC to be submitted when you're doing a spousal application. Before you can download the application guide, system is going to ask you some basic questions like who are you sponsoring? In here I'm going to select my spouse. From which country does the person belong? In here you're going to select the country in which your spouse resides. So here I'll select India. And if you scroll further down, here's the third question which you need to answer is, do you submit any documents issued by another country? This question might be relevant for cases wherein your spouse was born in some other country or your marriage took place in some other country, not in your home. In here, I'm going to select India. Once this is done, click on Get Checklist and Forms. So let me first guide you what are the 4 sections that you're able to see here. You can see there is an application guide, checklist, forms for the sponsor and forms for the sponsored person, in this case the primary applicant. So what's an application guide? If you've not watched my earlier videos in which I have described what an application guide is, you can find the link somewhere here. But again, to repeat in nutshell, application guides are official guides provided by IRCC in which they have enlisted what are the steps that you need to fulfill before submitting a complete application. How the forms are supposed to be filled, where are the signatures to be provided, all of that information is in IRCC. There are a lot of YouTube videos and blogs that I have seen that redirects us to some external links which states what all things you need to do in order to submit a complete package. I would still recommend that please rely on the official IRCC document rather than an external party website. Second is the checklist. The checklist is one of the most important documents of the entire application. Checklist contains all the things that you are supposed to provide in a sequential order. It is also considered to be the backbone of the entire application package. And when you're going to send your application package to IRCC, the checklist is going to be on the top of the entire package. I'm going to provide you snippets of the checklist in the rest of the videos, and you will understand why checklist is more important. So let's talk about the forms that a sponsor needs to fill in. There are 3 forms the system shows are applicable for a sponsor. Now these forms are mandatory and everyone who is sponsoring needs to fill out. One of the 3 forms which is most important in this application set is use of a representative. If you're not hiring an agent, I would strongly recommend that the sponsor fill out this form called use of a representative. By this way, the sponsor can become the representative of the applicant. By this, the sponsor can call up IRCC or can send out emails to IRCC to inquire on the application progress. If you are hiring an agent, your agent becomes your representative. Here you can also find the forms that an applicant needs to provide. You may also be asked to provide some country specific forms or fulfill some country specific requirements. For example, in my case, when I had selected India as this country in which my wife was residing in, I was asked to provide this document called Supplementary Information on My Travels. This is called IMM 5562. Similarly, the country that you are selecting, there might be some country specific forms that you might have to take note and provide with the application. Make sure that you are not missing out on these country specific forms. We have reviewed the eligibility criteria and also the forms that are required. Let's talk about the supporting documents that are required by both the sponsor and the applicant. But before we jump onto the supporting documents, let me open up the checklist that I was referring to and let's see what the checklist says. So in order to download the checklist, if I click on it, it will not open up right away because you need to have a latest version of Adobe Acrobat Reader. Since I have already downloaded that in my machine, I'm just going to download this checklist. And when I open it, it is going to give me this page. It says document checklist. Now this checklist contains parts. Part A is the forms required and part B are the supporting documents required. And as I had said earlier, this is going to be the backbone of your entire application. So if I can just directly jump on to the supporting documents required by the sponsor, that is something that you're going to find in Part B. The first document that a sponsor needs to provide is a proof of identity. Now, if you are a permanent resident residing in Canada, your proof of identity is going to be your permanent resident card. You can also provide your COPR letter along with it just to substantiate, but more or less only the photocopy of the PR card is required. If you are a Canadian citizen, it is going to be your passport. Next document that might be applicable to you is if you had previous relationships, you might be asked to provide proof of legal separation. And one of the most important documents for a sponsor to provide is a notice of assessment. There might be a case wherein you are not able to provide the notice of assessment, but I will strongly recommend that reach out to a qualified CPA who can guide you how you can secure a notice of assessment. IRCC asks for the latest year's notice of assessment, but you can also provide last 2 years of notice of assessment. Let me share my experience. I became PR in 2018, but I finally landed in Canada in 2020. I got married in this interim period. Though I never had a Canadian earning, I still was able to secure a notice of assessment based on my Indian earnings. This is something only a qualified CPA can help you get. If you are new to the country and you want to go ahead with this sponsorship application for your spouse, you can reach out to me in the comment section or on my Instagram channel. The handle is in the description box below and also somewhere here, and I will provide you the CPA contact whom I approached. Please note that this is not a sponsored video, neither the CPA has reached out to me or anyone else. It's just that I want to be as helpful as possible. So make sure you are discussing all the financial and legal aspects with the CPA before you go ahead. The point to note here is IRCC has only asked for a notice of assessment. It has not asked specifically what is the earning that a sponsor should have. So if you feel that your notice of assessment does not have a strong earnings, you can provide proof of your current employment in Canada along with some recent pay stubs. If you are providing letter of employment, I would strongly recommend that you submit an original signed document. If your employer is not able to provide an original signed, then get this on an email saying that your employer cannot provide your original document and you can provide a soft copy along with it. So having looked at the supporting documents required by the sponsor, now let's go to the documents that are required by an applicant to provide. The first document that a primary applicant or your spouse needs to provide is a proof of identity. In this case, it is going to be a photocopy of your passport. When I was doing my research, I came across a lot of YouTube videos and blogs which were telling me to provide all the pages of the passport. I really do not think that is required. The checklist clearly explains how the photocopy or what are the pages of the passport that needs to be provided. There is no need for providing all the pages of the passport. It is very important for us to understand that inundating your application with a lot of unnecessary documents may not seem to go well with the immigration officer and it might make his life difficult. The second document required around the identity is a birth certificate. Now mind you, all of these documents that I am talking about have to be either in English or French. If these documents are in language other than these two languages, then I would strongly recommend that you get this translated. The manner in which a translated document has to be submitted is already explained very well in the complete guide. Here let me share one anecdote of how we struggle with birth certificate. In complete guide, it is mentioned that if there is a certain time difference between the date of actual registration of birth and your actual date of birth, then you are supposed to provide some additional documents like voter ID or school living certificates or some additional school certificates. This was relevant to us. So I provided a letter of explanation providing a reference of the point in the complete guide, and I provided voters ID, national identity documents like Aadhaar card and PAN card. I also provided school living certificates, and the letter of explanation was clearly mentioning that all the documents that we have submitted in the entire application set supports a specific date of birth. The next document that a primary applicant needs to provide is a civil status document. In case if you are married, it is going to be a marriage certificate, and in case if you are a common law partner, it's going to be a civil union certificate. The reason for asking a civil status document is that your relationship should be legally registered with the government authorities. A pro tip here is, please do not submit any unnecessary documents like this certificate provided by the priest who has conducted your ceremony or any other document which is not requested. As applicable to sponsor, even the primary applicant or the spouse, if they have had a previous relationship, they are also going to provide a legal separation documents. Now let's talk about police clearance certificates. The primary applicant has to provide police clearance certificate from the country in which they have stayed for the majority part of their life. Also, if the primary applicant has stayed in the country cumulatively more than 6 months, then a PCC of that country also has to be provided. For instance, in my case, my wife had stayed majority of her life in India and she has also traveled out of India for a couple of times. But the stay in those countries has not been more than 6 months. So we only provided PCC from India. I can speak for applicants from India. The police clearance certificate can only be applied online by a Passport Seva Kendra. There is no point in getting PCC from a local police stations. There is no average time of getting a PCC, but in our case, we got our police clearance certificate completed in 1 month. That was during the COVID period. We got 2 original copies of police clearance certificate delivered to our home address in an envelope. You have to submit one of the original copies along with the application form. The second copy is something that you can keep for your reference, and you can bring that along when you are coming to Canada for the first time. So now let's talk about photographs. You need to provide photographs as requested by the IRCC guidelines. The guidelines are very clearly explained in the complete guide and also in the basic guide. You need to provide 2 photographs when you are submitting your application. The medical examination is not something that you're supposed to do when you're submitting your application package. It is going to be requested by IRCC, and this happens only after you have submitted the application, and there are subsequent stages. This completes part 1 of the video series. Link to part 2 can be found somewhere here or in the description box below. If you have found this video to be helpful, please give a thumbs up. Also, let us know what you liked about this video in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.